As we close out the NBA season in the Western Conference, we're going to see some exciting basketball down the stretch. We've already seen it in the games with Golden State and LA, Minnesota and Denver the other night with the Westbrook controversy, going to double overtime. It was great basketball. Jokic to 61 points. It was just awesome. And then you look at the game between Denver and Golden State where Curry had 36 last night, and they started slow and just stormed right back. And the Warriors, you haven't paid attention. They're 21-5 since getting Jimmy Butler. They look like contenders in the Western Conference. To me, they're the second best team in the West right now. Now, looking at the standings, the Lakers are third, and they're separated by 2 games from the play-in spot. And guess who they play in the next 2 games? They're going to OKC. And OKC still hasn't clinched the best record in the NBA quite yet. So guarantee OKC is going to be up for those games. The Lakers are 7-9 the last 16 games, so they've been not playing great basketball. The defense has taken a dip as I expected it would because they don't have enough personnel on this roster. Then you look at the Denver Nuggets. They have hit a slump. They could potentially be in that 6th spot or worse in the play-in spot if they're not careful. Because you look at the way Minnesota's playing, they're 13-3 in the last 16 games. The Clippers are also 13-3 in the last 13 games. So just looking at the West right now, there's going to be a lot of moving parts. And the Lakers, they got to be careful because if they lose the next 2 games, and let's just say Golden State continues to play good basketball, I think for the Warriors, they don't have a tough stretch coming up either. They've got the Rockets, and that's a big game for them, but they're at home. I think they'll beat Houston. They go to Phoenix, they're done. San Antonio, Portland, and LA. So their schedule down the stretch isn't terrible. And Houston pretty much has the 2nd seed locked up. I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff. And you look at the Denver Nuggets situation. They've got Indiana tomorrow. They've got to go to Sacramento. They're fighting for the play-in spot. They got Memphis trying to fight for, either a top 6 or to get out of the play-in. The only easy game down the stretch is going to Houston because Houston probably won't be starting anybody at that point. But man, losing to Minnesota and then San Antonio, those are rough losses. And then we go to the Timberwolves. Their schedule is light down the stretch, and they've been playing really good basketball. You got the Sixers and Milwaukee. Milwaukee is fighting for that 5th spot, but you got to feel good about Minnesota's chances down the stretch. And they're going to Memphis. Memphis is not playing great basketball either. So there is a possibility where Minnesota and Golden State climb up in the standings, and there's potential for the Lakers and Nuggets to drop off. Because, again, the Thunder are going to be ready for these games. And then they got to go to Dallas. We'll see where Houston is at this point. Maybe they got to still clinch the 2nd seed. Or maybe they just want revenge against the Lakers because they did lose the other night against LA on Monday. So there's a lot of unknown factors, but it's really exciting basketball if you think about it. Like I haven't seen this much, interest down the stretch between the 3rd seed and the 8th seed in the Western Conference, or really any conference in the NBA, whether it's East or West. But it's really interesting to see what's going on. The Warriors, Timberwolves, the Clippers, they're playing really, really good basketball. These teams are on fire right now. And this is what you want to be doing at this part of the regular season. You're playing good down the stretch towards the playoffs. And you don't want to be mediocre, trying to get by like the Lakers, 5-5 last 10. Nuggets have lost 6 of 10. The Grizzlies have lost 7 of 10. They've been just atrocious. Unfortunately, it's just been rough for them. I know, Ja had that great moment in Miami with the game winner, but I don't know. It's just going to be tough for Memphis because even their schedule down the stretch, they got to go to Detroit tonight, and that's not going to be easy. Charlotte's not a winnable game, but Minnesota is a huge game for Memphis. Then you got to go to Denver and Dallas. They have a tough stretch. So they might be in the play-in situation. And again, you want to be catching fire at the right time, but it's going to be great basketball to watch. These last 5 games will be great games, OKC, LA tomorrow, and then I think they play Tuesday. So that's a big time games for the Lakers because if they don't split those games, they get to 47-32. It's going to be a lot of pressure down the stretch for them, especially, the Warriors climbing. They're on fire. Denver's struggling. And Minnesota's on fire. Like, they've been playing great, really good basketball. The only game I didn't like is they lost to Indiana without, I think Tyrese didn't play, and they lost to the Pelicans. But they bounced back since then. But that just would have been a great opportunity to move up. But it happens. The NBA, it's a long season. You're going to lose games. You're going to go through adversity. The Clippers are playing good ball as well. I don't want to just leave them out. They're scheduled down the stretch. What's it look like? They got Dallas again. So they just beat Dallas the other night, and they're at home. So then you got the Spurs and the Rockets. That'll be a fun game. Go to Sacramento and Golden State. So their schedule's pretty tough down the stretch as well. And Kawhi has been playing better. He's looking healthier. James Harden has been really good for them this year. I'm really happy for them. And, it seems like they don't miss Paul George whatsoever. It's just embarrassing to see what the Sixers are at and the Clippers. And it's like, man, Sixers are already considering trading Paul George, and Clippers have been fine without him. It's just embarrassing stuff. But yeah, the Western Conference right now, exciting basketball. It's going to be fun to watch down the stretch. And I think right now, when I'm looking at the West, I'm going to OKC. I'm going to Golden State. I'll put the Lakers there for now, but I could see Minnesota, being better than LA just because of Anthony Edwards' impact. They look pretty good defensively. But it really comes down to Julius Randle because we know in the playoffs he has a drop off. If he plays to a higher standard, Minnesota's going to be very tough in the playoffs. So I could see it going that way where it's OKC, Golden State, LA, Minnesota for now. And then I'm going to put the Clippers there, and then Denver. Denver's just been bad. Unfortunately, they have, really bad point of attack defense. The rim protection is not really great. I think they're 20th in defense this year. So it's just not up to par. And when you're heading to the playoffs and you're not playing at high level and you're losing games to opponents who are trying to make the playoffs, it's just a recipe for disaster. So it's unfortunate because Jokic has been unbelievable. He's still the best player in the world. He might not win MVP this year, but that's okay. I think for the Nuggets this year are going to the offseason, they need to figure out what to do next with this core roster. I think, Aaron Gordon has been shooting much better from three. We talked about it in another episode where he's really improved his three-point shooting. I think that is not an anomaly. I think that's going to be here to stay because he took like thousands of shots to work on his three-point shooting. So kudos to him. I think Denver's got to make some adjustments this offseason to upgrade the roster. Maybe move off Michael Porter Jr. I mean, he's good, but Gordon could fit in that slot. Just add some new life to this team. Because you still have Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray, be nice to see him be more consistent in the regular season, but I think he's still a good number 2 option, and he's really good in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, Denver needs to figure some things out to extend this championship run and to keep them in the thick of things. That's just my opinion. But again, I love watching these games down the stretch because it's going to be some great basketball. We're going to see, look at the Warriors, look at how they have risen back up in the Western Conference. It's just fun because Steph Curry is playing at a top 5 level right now. He's been unbelievable, and the Warriors are just humming at the right time. And we have not seen the best version of Jimmy Butler. That is the scary part. Wait till we see playoff Jimmy. I mean, the Warriors are they're playing great basketball, and I'm excited to see what they do in the playoffs. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I'd love to hear thoughts about the final stretch of the regular season in the Western Conference. Who do you think is going to finish in that top 3 spot, and what do you expect come playoff time? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.